Hi everyone, welcome to this evening's session. Tonight we will be moving through a restorative, slow, intentional, mindful practice with poses that help promote a deeper, more restful sleep. And I'd like to start off class tonight with a passage from an email that I received earlier this morning. The email is from one of my mentors and a fearless leader. Her name is Anne, and she's the founder of an organization called Parlay House. And the organization, founding principle or philosophy behind it is that one small act of kindness can parlay into a ripple effect that is felt on a global level. So with that said, here is the email. The antidote to fear is connection. While the current risks prevent us from being physically connected with each other beyond our intimate families, this time of physical distance can be a catalyst to finding emotional depth in knowing ourselves and better defining our values, depth in becoming comfortable with the unknown, comfortable with the space between what was and what will be. And depth as we double down on communication and intimacy. It's times like these when we stop taking people and privilege for granted and can ask questions like what we'd like to be doing more of, what we naturally do well, what really gets our blood boiling, and most importantly, who we'd like to spend more time with in the future. It's a time to think about what we are grateful for. Write those things down so you can remember them when things get back to normal. This virus will pass, while these long-term values and goals will stay with you far longer. Beyond this internal exploration, we also know there are a huge number of small activities you can undertake now which will have big results for others, and they all start with kindness. So with that said, I invite you to think of the kind acts that are happening around the world when you start to feel a bit overwhelmed by this whole situation. Knowing that there are people helping the elderly get their groceries. There are people putting out really positive messages on social media. There are people working really hard to keep everyone else safe. Also, moving into our practice, I invite you to approach this practice with so much kindness, really settling into your body and moving slowly with a nurturing, loving touch. And finally, bringing some kindness into your mind, being grateful that you are here showing up, moving through these practices to stay present and to stay in the direction of progress. So thank you so much for continuing to show up for yourself and to show up for these sessions and to partake in the spreading of so much kindness during this time. So with that said, we're going to start today's session by spreading kindness through the body with our breath. So we're going to move through a slow breath where we're breathing in for the count of 4, holding our breath for the count of 4, and then exhaling out the mouth for the count of 6. And this type of breath taps into our parasympathetic nervous system. This is what sends signals to calm our body, calm our mind, and prepare us to move towards a deep sleep. So finding your tall, neutral seat, the hands can rest where they naturally fall on the thighs, or if you would like to place them, maybe one hand over the heart and one hand over the belly, or both hands over the heart, whatever feels good for you tonight, wherever you feel the most connected. Closing your eyes. Breathing in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Holding at the top, 2, 3, 4. Exhale at the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In through the nose, 2, 3. Continuing this on your own. Maybe picking up the pace a bit if my count is too slow, or elongating the breaths if you want to move a bit slower. Knowing that every inhale, you're breathing in fresh, nourishing oxygen. And every exhale, you're ridding stale air and energy. Inhale to breathing kindness and connection. Exhale to let go of anything that does not serve you today. Breathing in all of the kind acts that have happened throughout your day, whether that's personal or things that you've witnessed third hand. Exhaling out anything from your day that you do not wish to carry with you here tonight. One more round of breath. And then placing your hands at heart center. Taking a moment to set an intention for your practice. Breathe that intention in. And exhale it out as your eyes begin to flutter open. And your hands come down to your knees. Beginning to tap into your body. Really move like you. Begin to roll through the shoulders. Maybe roll out the head. Maybe circle the rib cage in one direction and then the other. You can close your eyes once more here to really dive in, tap in, go deep into your body. We spend so much time in our minds. We forget to listen to our body, to this animal being that is so intelligent. Showing that being some love through movement and maybe through touch. Maybe if you want to run your fingertips over your legs as you rotate through your torso and head. And then gently coming back to where you started, finding some stillness. We'll take an easy twist to the right. Moving over towards the right side, your fingertips can tent behind you. And your left palm can gently press into the outside of the right thigh to rotate your torso. Gaze to follow all the way to the right. Every inhale lengthens the spine, broadens the heart space. Every exhale melts you a little bit deeper. Inhaling here. Exhale, unwind, come back to center, reset. Maybe gently press your palms into the thighs and lift up through the heart. And then begin to twist over to the left side. Twists are such a crucial movement to promote a deep sleep. As when we twist, you can visualize almost like wringing out a wet rag. We're compressing our organs intentionally to squeeze out any toxins. So then when we untwist, and go ahead and untwist here, come back to center. When we untwist, all this fresh blood, oxygen nourishing blood cells come rushing into that organ, revitalizing and restoring this part of our body. Coming up and over yourself and meeting in hands and knees, all fours. Maybe moving through a round of cat and cow, or just shaking out the hips and the head. Really nice. And then moving your knees out towards the edges of your mat, but your toes stay together. Gently allowing your hips to fall towards your heels as your torso and your heart melt towards the ground. Forehead hangs heavy towards the earth. Coming into child's pose. Taking a few rounds of deep breath here. Inhale, drop the belly. Feel the breath expand through the upper back. Exhale to unwind, release, let go. Feel held in this shape, held by Mother Earth. Safe, protected, present. In this child's pose, I invite you to maybe bring a childlike sense of curiosity, of non-judgment, of ability to really be present. Invite all of those things into your practice with ease, with patience, and with kindness, just like you were able to do as a child. Inhaling here once more. Exhale to release. And then gently coming back onto all fours. Really nice. Inhale steps you back to plank. And exhale, down dog. We will not be moving through any planks or chaturangas or anything. Simply using this as a transition today. So you can bend your knees deeply and make this a really fluid, spongy down dog. Inhale, gently lift your right leg up, maybe to about 50%. Then exhale, moving to half pigeon. So your right ankle comes behind your left wrist, your right knee behind your right wrist. The left leg out long, left toes untucked. Allowing your hips to melt down towards the earth. Inhale, you can gently press up through the palms or fingertips, broaden through the heart space. And then exhale, descend. Allow your torso to melt over your right leg. And maybe you can use your forearms as a pillow for your forehead. Pigeon's pose is a deep hip opener. We store so much trauma, stress, emotions in our hips. So this pose is a crucial part of our sequence before we go to sleep. As we open up to these things so we can release them, let them go. It kind of works just like dealing with and facing traumas or emotions in life. It's only when we open up to these things we can begin to let go and to heal. Taking a few more deep breaths here. Surrendering to this pose. And then begin to walk your hands back up towards your body. And you can gently, slowly come back to a transitional down dog, keeping knees really bent. Inhale, the left leg lifts up just about 50%. Knee can stay super bent. And then begin to move forward to your half pigeon on this side. Really nice. And here, I'm going to keep silent with my vocal cues and give you a few moments to really sit into this, breathe into this, be in this pose, in this present moment in your life. And my voice will return back when we're ready to be guided out. Inhale, sending breath through the body. Exhale to arrive back into your space. Inhale, gently pressing up onto the hands. And exhale. So you gently press back to a really soft, really easy settle down dog. Inhale brings you back to all fours. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, all fours. And exhale, gently lower down to the ground. So maybe coming to plank and lowering down, or whatever way feels comfortable. Untucking the toes. Pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing into the frontal hip points. Inhale, lifting the heart space just a bit. And then exhale, moving to Sphinx pose. So placing your forearms in L shape so your elbows are stacked right under your shoulders. Your fingers are spread wide. Taking a few rounds of deep breath here. Actively pressing into the palms, pressing into the forearms, pressing into the tops of the feet, lifting the heart space forward, lifting the earlobes away from the shoulders. Shoulders are melting back in space. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lowering back down to the mat. And then pressing back up to all fours. Inhale, sending your heels towards your seat. Exhale, crossing at the ankles and sitting back to an easy seated position. Moving into butterfly. So I'll face forward here. So placing the soles of the feet together, pressing the outer edges of the feet firmly into each other to generously open up the inner arches towards the sky. You can grab onto the outsides of the feet. Maybe your thumbs hook over your toes. Inhale to lengthen the spine, heart moves forward. Exhale, you can stay here, or you can start to bend. Heart moving forward, spine long. And when you get to a place of resistance, option to fold down towards your feet. Opening your knees up as they fall towards the mat. And you can gently use the bind of your palms to your feet to guide you a little bit deeper into this pose. Taking one more deep breath here. And then slowly rolling all the way back up. Head is the last thing to come up. Finding a tall, neutral spine. Placing your hands behind you on the mat. And then extending your legs out wide. Nice. Moving your palms back in front of you. Inhaling here. Exhale, begin to walk your hands out in front of you. Maybe coming down into the forearms. Or moving deeper into this pose. This pose for me, I intentionally put it into this practice because it's a pose that guides me towards practicing a lot of kindness to myself. It's a pose that I am very resistant to. I can't easily access. I stop just about here. And it's a really simple pose. And this is as far as I go. And just practicing that that's exactly where I need to be. That is okay. That is this version of this pose is the pose to me. And that's true in all poses in yoga and all places in life. Letting go of comparison, letting go of timelines, to stay in your body, to foster that deep internal connection. The only person to compare yourself with is you. Inhaling here once more, lengthening the spine. Exhale, walking the hands back up towards center. Really nice. And then moving the feet, maybe back to butterfly for a moment. And then closing the knees. And we're going to move into bridge pose. So gently lowering all the way down to the ground. You can grab behind your thighs. And then I always like to move through one inhalation, long spine, heart forward. And then rounding the spine to engage my core and gently lowering myself down to the mat. When you get there, it's typical to scoot your bum closer towards your heels or heels closer to bum, whatever's easier. And lengthen your arms and ensure that your fingertips, so your middle finger, the longest finger, can graze or just about graze the backs of your heels. This is a really nice way to measure. Everyone's different, but for the most part, it ensures a safe alignment. Making sure your feet are hip-width distance. Inhale, lifting the hips up high, maybe moving the shoulders underneath the heart space a bit more. You can gently press your palms into the earth, or if you want to clasp your fingers and bind behind your back, that's always an option here as well. Gently tucking the chin to protect the neck. Inhale, lifting the hips 1 inch higher. Exhale, rounding the spine, lowering down to the mat. Sacrum's the last thing to hit. Lifting your knees up towards your chest. I'm just going to lower the volume here for a moment. Lifting your knees up towards your chest and giving yourself a squeeze. Maybe closing your eyes. Moving forward towards your knees. I like to place one knee in each eye socket to really shut out the light and turn in. Find this moment of gratitude. Inhale here once more. Exhale, lowering your head back down to the mat if it was lifted. And then gently allowing your knees to fall over to the right. Your arms can be cactus or teed out. Your gaze can fall to the left. So we're coming back to where we started, back to this spinal twist. Back to this place of detoxifying, of ridding any stale energy that we may have absorbed during the day. Cleansing our bodies on a cellular level. Cleansing our minds as we stay in this shape for a few more breaths, finding stillness in our body and kindness in our mind. Twisting so we can rid that excess to make space to create more kindness for ourselves, more kindness for others. Knowing that it just takes one small thing to have a ripple effect of positive change. Inhale, bringing your legs back to center. And exhale, allowing them to fall over to the left. Gaze can fall to the right. Eyes are closed. If you would like to use your left palm to gently guide your right leg a bit further down towards the ground, you can do so here. Melting into this twist. Allowing your breath to be the guiding force of this practice. Using these slow, deep breaths to send signals to our parasympathetic nervous system, sending the signals to promote rest and restoration. Taking a few more deep breaths here on your own, and my voice will come back when we're ready to move on. Inhale, gently lift your legs back up to center. Moving into happy baby, so grabbing for the outsides of the feet. And then gently using the press of palm to feet to guide your knees outward towards your armpits. Pressing up into your hands with the bottoms of your feet and down with your hands, sending that downward action through your feet as it trickles down the calves, the shins, and through the kneecaps. Options to rock side to side here, or maybe lengthen one leg straight and then the other. Playing around here in this shape, in the happy baby, keeping in theme with the childlike sensation of wonder, play, curiosity, and of course, kindness. Gathering your knees back in towards your chest, hugging yourself into a tiny little ball once more. And then exhale to release everything down to the ground. Our final Shavasana pose, corpse pose. Legs are long, arms are long. Take up space here. Allow the toes to fall to the edges of the mat outward. The palms are facing up. Allowing your body to be melted heavy. You have done all of the work. You've moved slowly through these restorative poses. Now let your kind, intentional actions be felt in your body. As you lay here safe and held in your space and by Mother Earth. Surrender, let go, let go, let go. My voice will return back to guide you out. Taking a deep inhale, waking the body up from the inside out. Exhale, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe roll the head from left to right. Your arms can reach up and over yourself as you take a full body stretch. And then gently, carefully, slowly roll over onto one side in this fetal position. So corpse pose, Shavasana, symbolizes the death of our practice as we leave it here on our mat. But this fetal position is the birth of our practice as we move this connection, this kindness off of our mat and into the rest of our lives. Slowly pressing up to a seated position, bringing your hands to heart center, closing your eyes, taking a moment to allow the benefits of this practice to vibrate through your body. Taking a moment to recognize any shifts that have occurred from the beginning of our session until now. Taking a moment to honor yourself for showing up, for moving with kindness. Honoring the intention that you started your practice with. Taking one more deep inhale through the nose, breathing in, Exhale, let it go, sigh it out. One more time like that. Breathe in deep. Send breath through the body. Revitalize, restore. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed these poses, enjoyed this session, enjoyed our time together on our mats. I hope you have a beautiful, deep, restful sleep. And I hope you feel kindness in your heart, body, mind, and soul. Namaste.